to the Retirement Matters blog. My name is Dave Grant. I am the founder of Retirement Matters, which is a financial planning and investment management company in Barrington, Illinois. And today we're covering the topic that everyone has, and it's how much money do you need to retire? All right, so this is a topic that I get asked with every person that I work with because it's a question that everybody has. And that's the topic of how much money do you actually need to retire and not work anymore? And the answer I always give is, it depends. It depends on a lot of variables. So let's talk about what those variables are. Well, it depends on how much you spend. So if you spend $50,000 a year versus $250,000 a year, that determines, and it's gonna be a big difference in how much you actually need. So if you need $50,000 a year in expenses, then you might need around $1 million in savings that will last you all the way through your lifetime. If you need $250,000 a year, it's obviously going to be a lot more. And we'll get to how I came up to that $1 million for $50,000 in expenses a year, and I'll take you through that formula in a second. Now, lots of people, when they're talking about how much they need in expenses, they talk about, well, what are we going to live on? And there's a big caveat in there, which is medical expenses. And some people don't realize how expensive that can be. Now, for a lot of people working through their career, they have had the luxury of having it be an employer-provided benefit. So medical insurance at the best of times could have actually been free, or your premiums could have been a couple $100 a month, and you never actually understood how much it cost. So if you're retiring before Medicare age, there is a good chance you could be paying between $1,000 to $2,000 a month, depending on your situation, just in medical insurance premiums. And that's obviously going to have a huge impact in how much that you're going to spend during your retirement. When you hit Medicare age at 65, that's obviously going to change. But if you're looking about going into retirement a little earlier, that is something you do need to be aware of. All right, so I talked about that $50,000 in expenses needing approximately $1 million in investments. How did I come up to that? Well, there is essentially napkin math. And so you can say, okay, if I've got $1 million in investments, you essentially take 4% of that number, and it's between 4 and 5%. That will provide you enough income per year where you never run out of money in retirement. With a caveat there saying your investments need to be appropriate and you need to leave your investments alone during that time and make sure you're prudent with it. But you have a really good chance of having your money never outlast you. So you can back into how much you need based on how much you spend. So let's say that you are spending $50,000 a year. You then back into the number of, okay, well, if I'm going to take 4% out of my savings, does that give me $50,000 a year? If it does, that's great. You're looking at between $1 and $1.2 million for that, and that's what you really need to back into. It's a big number. Not going to get away from that. But it is important to understand that if you're retiring around 60 to 65, there is a good chance that your retirement could last 30, 35 years, and you need your money to last you a long time. So, not meaning to be scary or anything, but how much you need to save for retirement, it is a large number. It needs to last you a long time, and you need to be aware that you need to be prudent in your savings all the way throughout your career if you want to retire at an appropriate age for you. So obviously this is going to be different in everyone's situation. And this is what I do for a job. I help people understand how much they need, where it's going to come from, what taxes they pay, how their medical insurance is going to work. All these different pieces in this puzzle, I help people understand it each and every day. So if you need help in understanding any of this, my name is Dave Grant. You can find me at retirementmattersillinois.com, and I will see you soon.